Hello everyone, it's Spurs Radio 96 here, and welcome to the 6th episode of the FIFA 18 Zenit St Petersburg career mode. We begin today's episode at the Kraskovsky Stadium for the start of our Europa League campaign. Now, hopefully, of course, the target from the board of the club is to win the Europa League, so we have to get off to a good start. We've got to get out of the group stages. The group stage first of all, and it contains some hefty opponents. The group overall consists of SCR Altac, I don't know who they are, Rosenborg BK, the Norwegian champions, and Real Sociedad of Spain. And of course, that is going to be a very difficult challenge indeed. The first game is at the Kraskovsky Stadium against the Norwegian champions, Rosenborg BK. The lineup for today's match, we have gone in with the full first team. I really feel it is important that we get off to the best start by getting 3 points, good number of goals, as well as putting in a good performance in front of the home fans on a very special occasion here at the Kraskovsky Stadium. Its first ever European game held in this stadium. We come on to the first half, the 35th minute, and we've got the ball now towards Alexandra Kokorin. Takes the strike, easily done, and Alexandra Kokorin scores Zenit St Petersburg's first goal in the UEFA Europa League, and he jumps onto the barrier over the LED board there to celebrate with the fans. I think it was the away fans as well. I think it was the home fans. The home fans there in jubilation. Either way, got the ball off the play, just off the Rosenborg BK player. Took the ball, struck on his left foot rather tamely actually, and the keeper surprised to make a save of that. It wasn't as vicious or as vicious a strike as I thought it was, but Kokorin struck on his weak foot, and it's gone in, and we lead 1-0 coming up to 37 minutes played. His first goal in the UEFA Europa League. Important for him to get on the trail in the European campaign in terms of scoring goals, because he's been absolutely electric in the garden for us in the Russian Premier League. And we come on to the 41st minute, and Rosenborg BK have a chance, and they've scored. Rosenborg BK have struck back almost immediately after we have scored, and Zek Hinin has scored. I think that's how you say his name, but Rosenborg BK level, what a disaster. We just completely switched off. Look at that, we gave them all the time and space we needed. We just didn't mark our defenders, their attack. Our defenders didn't mark their attack, the attackers of Rosenborg BK, and we have paid the price, and that's not the way to end the first half. By draw. Well, at the moment it's 1-1 against Rosenborg BK past 43 minutes, and that's the end of half time. Disappointed to concede right towards the end of half time. Very an unusual characteristic of our side in the game there. We made a horrible mistake that let Zavek Zekhinin score, and it's 1-1 at the moment, and we will have to fight back in the second half. And we come on to the 50th minute, and we have another chance here, and I think it was Druzy who tried to get it in. I don't know who is this, but here's Parades gets the ball and takes a strike. Wonderful goal from Parades, his first goal of the season, his first goal for the club. What a time to score in the UEFA! What a time to score your first goal for Zenit St Petersburg in the UEFA Europa League. Look at that! Just took the ball on the right hand side, had that extra step, that extra touch of the ball from over the defender, and Parades scored a wonderful goal out the box on his right foot. Keeper had no chance with the pace and power of that shot, and Parades deservedly gets his first goal for the club in the best occasion of them all. Leonardo Parades scores his first goal for the club in the Europa League, and it is 2-1 to Zenit St Petersburg at that stage. We come on to the 73rd minute, and we've given the ball away to Rosenborg BK. Here's Regesin. Now we've got another chance here. Here is Zekhinin. Zekhinin still going forward. He's got the ball, and he's going to give it to Henriksen. He's at the post, and Milling hit the ball and has gone wide, and Zenit St Petersburg live another day. And we almost conceded again, but it hit the post or bar, whatever. But now we've got the ball here. I think it's Rigoni who Rigani, he's running, he's past one or two players, he's still got a defender trying to hunt him down, and he goes down, and it is a free kick to Zenit St Petersburg right towards the end, and he gets a yellow card. Bigger Solberg Merling for bringing down, I think it was Zagoni, or I think I keep getting confused. I think it's Rigoni, sorry, Rigoni, not Zagoni. I don't know where the hell that name come from, but Rigoni was brought down, and we have a free kick to maybe wrap up the game once and for all and ease the nerves in the stadium of Rosenborg BK comeback. Parades with the strike in towards Druzy, and Druzy scores from the free kick. From the free kick. Well, from the set piece, if you like. He has wrapped the game up for Zenit St Petersburg. His first goal in quite a while, actually. He hasn't scored for a while in the Russian Premier League. Well, that little drought has come to an end because we have scored from a free kick. Wonderful cross from Parades. He's been the star man of the second half. And Druzy has got a good header on it. The keeper had no chance because it was a very high headed ball. And the keeper had no chance. And Zenit St Petersburg have scored 3 goals here and are going to take 3 points on the opening game of the Europa League for us. Sebastian Druzy, he is in the goal scoring once again for Zenit St Petersburg. Absolutely fantastic. And the full-time whistle blows, and it will be 3 points for Zenit St Petersburg. Crucial we get off to the Europa League group campaign with a victory, some goals in the bag, and 3 points. But the performance was here and there. The first half, I feel as though the early stages we created a lot of opportunities, but once we scored, I don't know, we just felt a bit lacklustre. We were not as dominant, and we weren't as aggressive, or I don't know what the other word was. I forget the word, but we weren't as good after we scored the goal. Rosenborg BK scored back, but the second half was much better, and we win the game 3-1. Our second game of the episode, we return to the Russian Premier League action, where we will be up against Anzhi Makhachkala. For this game, I have decided to put on the secondary team, because if I put the first team on again after they, played in the Europa League, I feel they may have some tiring legs. And then, of course, we play in the Russian Cup very soon after this game, so it's important to reserve some energy in the first team and give the secondary team a chance to get 3 points. You see there by the table, we were leading, I think, with 20 points. I think 19 points, I'm not exactly sure. Anzhi Makhachkala are 11th, I think, with 10 or 11 points. And of course, we will give a debut to Ahmed Hassan, the player we signed from SC Braga for £6.7 million in the Player Plus cash deal. We bought him to try and get more attacking, to get better attacking from the secondary team, because I feel as though the attacking force, particularly from the strikers in the secondary team before I brought Ahmed Hassan, was absolutely most diabolical, really. It was terrible, really. It's important that Ahmed Hassan hits the ground running, and hopefully he can have a good debut and maybe get a goal and maybe get 3 points in this difficult away match against Anzhi Makhachkala, who are struggling at the moment. We come into the 25th minute, not many chances scored, but he's passed it to Hassan, and Hassan has a strike. Good save from Laurie, I don't know how you say it, but there we go. We come on to the 36th minute. Panankov has passed it to Hassan, and the defence has made a mistake. He's now done a very good pass towards Pletnev. Pletnev crosses towards Hassan. Hassan scores on his debut for Zenit St Petersburg. The transfer has paid off. The big bucks. The man who we brought in on the last day, it was a gamble to bring him in, really, because I thought we wouldn't have enough money. We spent nearly over £200 million, just like AC Milan did in real life, and we thought it wouldn't pay off bringing this guy in right at the last of the transfer window, but it's paid off. He scored from across from Pletnev, a fantastic volley on his left foot, ricochets off one of the defenders, but it doesn't matter. He scores on his debut, and Zenit St Petersburg lead at Anzhi Makhachkala. Hugely important for the secondary team in terms of confidence after their recent performances have been, well, not really what I expected, really. Results have been okay. We haven't been beaten at all yet this season, touch wood, but it's important that the secondary team has a good performance to build confidence, because results alone won't save their skin from their fans, of course. But it is half time, and Ahmed Hassan has played his part in the first half. I mean, to be honest, the first half wasn't actually that great. Anzhi Makhachkala restricted us to very few chances, but 2 chances you saw there were the only chances of the first half, but we led 1-0, and that's the end of the second half, which we came on the second half briefly. It's ended, pretty much, because the second half was absolutely, well, it was very boring, really. Absolutely nothing happened. It was just like most teams, really, like Dynamo Moscow, really just back and forth football and football passing, intercepting the ball in the midfield off the opposition and ourselves, and off them and ourselves. It was all over the place. But we do have 3 points away from home and a clean sheet with the secondary team. Ahmed Hassan scores in his debut, and it's Anzhi Makhachkala 0, Zenit St Petersburg 1. Absolutely crucial there for us. Then we come on to the big game of the episode, the Rosenborg BK, the first game of the Russian Cup campaign for us, and we will be up against the most successful team in the Russian Cup. No pressure. We will be up against CSKA Moscow, for 12-time Russian Cup winners, on a very misty, foggy afternoon at the Krastovsky Stadium. Huge challenge for us here. You can see some players there. As you can see, the player to watch, Valsy Berezutsky, of course, is playing in the Russian team at the moment in the World Cup. Some players you may notice of the squad, of the CSKA Moscow squad, are playing in the World Cup, as well as some other players. Ahmed Musa is on loan from Leicester City. He is in this squad. So is Golovin, who plays in the Russian team at the moment. He's getting quite a lot of interest from teams around Europe, particularly from Arsenal, I've heard in the Premier League. But for Zenit St Petersburg, we put on the first team. Hopefully this is the strategy I put in place for this episode will pay off, to give the first team a rest in the Premier League, in the game against Anzhi Makhachkala. Put on the second team, and then hopefully the first team will perform very well in the Russian Cup game. It's important we win. And as you can see there, Akayev for CSKA Moscow. Akayev as well, been in 40-odd Champions League appearances for CSKA Moscow. A lot of teams there. Mario Fernandez as well is in there. I think he came from Zenit St Petersburg in the past. And Vetino is there as well in the attack with Musa. We come on to the 14th minute, where Kokorin has the ball. Now he's passed it to Guzev. Now he's given it back to Kokorin. And now it's Druzy. Druzy's coming forward, and Druzy has a chance. He's at the post. Sebastian Druzy hits the post, and CSKA headed away. We have a chance now. Druzy in towards Rigoni. He's crossed in towards Paredes. Oh, what a goal from Paredes. He is a goal machine at the moment in this episode. He scored his first goal in the Europa League. He's only gone and scored again. His second in the Russian Cup against CSKA Moscow. And his second strike is better than the first one. What a volley that is from Paredes, with, wow, fantastic accuracy, out the box, pace, power, you name it. And Akayev had no chance, and the defence of CSKA Moscow were blown away. They couldn't believe it. Leonardo Paredes has scored our first goal in the Rosenborg BK, the Russian Cup. We couldn't get off to a better start than that. And it's Zenit St Petersburg 1, CSKA Moscow 0. We come on to the 26th minute. Shatov is on the attack, I think. He's still going forward. He's got the ball, and no one can cope with the pace of him, it seems. Here's Rigoni. He's past the defender, and he's in the box. Is he going to shoot? He's passed into us. Oh, it's gone in. It's gone in. Is it? I think it's Shatov. I think it is. And Shatov has scored from a simple header. What the CSKA Moscow defenders are thinking of, I've no idea. It is Shatov, and Shatov makes it 2-0 to Zenit St Petersburg past 28 minutes. Rigoni just ran past the defence. I thought he was going to take a shot. He just did a simple little, almost like a chip almost towards Shatov, and Shatov got the header in, and Akayev actually got a touch to it. It came off his face, and it's gone in. And CSKA Moscow have had an appalling first half display defensively. They couldn't cope with the pace, and their vision is all over the place. They're just nowhere near at our level defensively. I mean, their defence is very old, like defenders like 35, 38 years old, something, but very experienced. They should be doing a lot better than that. We come on to the 39th minute, and I don't know who's got the chance. And CSKA Moscow have scored. I think Fernandez crossed it into Vitone, and Vitone has scored, and CSKA Moscow are suddenly back in the game. Wow, what a turn up for the books this is. They've had a horrible first half defensively, but now we've made a mistake, and Vitone has scored. for CSKA Moscow. I think it was Mario Fernandez. Good cross to him, whoever it was. He then passed it to Vitone and had a great strike on his right foot, and the defence really had no chance. Neither did Lunev. And for 2 games running in cup competitions, we will not keep a clean sheet. We didn't keep one in Europa League, and we're not going to get one in today's Russian Cup appearance. And a bit of nerves are settling in now, and Vitone scored for CSKA Moscow, and it's brought it back to 2-1. We come on to the 44th minute. We have a corner from Rigoni, and Shenesinski looks to be in trouble because he's given away a penalty. It looks to be a handball. And I think that's the 3rd time in the career mode that we have had a penalty. Well, for the 2nd time in his career mode, we have a penalty due to the opposition giving it away by their hands touching the ball. We had a handball as well. We had a handball incident, and I think Spartak Moscow scored in our first home game of the season in the Russian league. But Witzel has a chance here. Can we score this time? Yes, we do! And Alex Witzel scores right on the edge of half-time. Really well done from the penalty spot. Lovely, composed, calm, but powerful finish as well. Akevich was standing there. And CSKA Moscow are now 2 goals behind us now. We have our 2-goal cushion. Alex Witzel converts from the penalty spot. I didn't choose to pick Kokorin after he had a penalty and hit the crossbar. I think it was in the last episode or the episode before in the Russian Premier League, I'm not sure. But either way, Alex Witzel scores his 2nd goal of the campaign of the season, and it will be half-time, and it is 3-1 against 3-1 for Zenit St Petersburg. Fantastic first half, really. We have outplayed them. Their defence has been very jaded. They lacked pace. They've lacked awareness, really, organisation, and they just haven't been good at the back. We also have not been good at the back. Vitone scored after a good cross to Mario Fernandez. Has basically passed it, and it's 3-1 at half time. And as you can see, the other scores, Rubik Kazan are 2-0 up, I think, against Anzhi Makhachkala. We come on to the start of the second half, and you see the graphics are all gone because the game glitched, but I think Kokorin has the ball still, or Kuzev, but no, here's Kokorin. He's turned around the defence and he took a strike, and it's 4-1 to Zenit St Petersburg. They are crushing for 12-time winners of the Russian Cup, and CSKA Moscow looks like they will not have a dream fairy tale of a comeback. I know it's early in the second half, but it's surely going to be impossible for them to come back for a 4-1 down. Absolutely horrible defensive display from CSKA Moscow. We have ripped them to shreds in our attacking play today. Kokorin now gets a goal in the Russian Cup, and it's 4-1 to Zenit St Petersburg, and that is the full-time whistle. CSKA Moscow had nothing left in their tanks. They couldn't go forward, they couldn't create chances. We just sat back, defended, and saw the game out. And the 12-time winners, CSKA Moscow, are out of the Russian Cup, and we will be advancing to the next round, the quarter-finals. Alexander Kokorin looks to be man of the match, as what the computers picked out him there. 2 shots, he's got a goal, the only goal in the second half, and Zenit St Petersburg have crushed CSKA Moscow by 4-1. And one of the favourites for the cup is gone. Let's look at the other results. FC Ural lost to Anzhi Makhachkala 2-1. Rubik Kazan beat Akhmat Grozny. They were the team they're playing against. They lost 3-0. Spartak Moscow beat FC Totso 3-1. Arsenal Tula beat Amkar Perm 3-1. FC Krasnodar lost to Lokomotiv Moscow 2-1. Of course, Lokomotiv Moscow for holders of the Russian Cup. FC UFA drew 1-1 against FC Rostov, but beat them on penalties 4-3. Rostov is out too. And would you believe this? SKA Khabarovsky beat Dynamo Moscow 1-0. They get their first victory of the entire season. Well done to them. We look at the quarterfinals. Anzhi Makhachkala will face the holders, Lokomotiv Moscow. Rubik Kazan host SKA Khabarovsky. That's a tall order for SKA. We will be away against Arsenal Tula. How ironic is that? And I don't know the other fixture, but it's going to be a tough one, I'm sure. We look at the Russian Premier League after the game. We played against Anzhi Makhachkala. We are still top with 23 points. We have a 3 to 4 point cushion over Lokomotiv Moscow with 19 points. We've got to keep an eye on FC Krasnodar. They have a game in hand over us, and they have 19 points. They win, they win the next game, which is against us, I believe, for the gap will be just 1 point between us and FC Krasnodar. Spartak Moscow are 4th with 17 points. 5th is CSKA Moscow, also with 17 points. Rubin Kazan are 6th with 15 points and have played 1 game more than their opposition. That's not good for them. Dynamo Moscow are 7th with 12 points. And then 8th to 10th, 9th, I think, we have FC Ural and Tosno with 11 points. Akhmat Grozny is 10th with 10 points, when it's followed by FC Rostov and Anzhi Makhachkala 11th and 12th, also on 10 points. Arsenal Tula is still 13th with 9 points. FC UFA are 14th with 8 points. Amkar, Perm and SKA Khabarovsky, even though SKA won in the cup, they still can't win in the league. They both are winless with 3 to 2 points respectively. 17 to 21 goals conceded, the worst in the league. We come on to the preview for the next episode, and wow, what a start to the episode we have. We are up against what I think is our main rivals, away against FC Krasnodar, the Bulls, the green and black Bulls. If Krasnodar win against us, the gap will be closed to just 1 point, and we will be hurting from our first defeat of the entire Russian League campaign. Then the second game of the episode will be away against SCR Altak. I don't know who the hell they are, but if they, I think they drew, against Real Sociedad, but that's going to be a tough challenge. And then we'll be home against UFA at the Krastovsky Stadium, so that's going to be a tough challenge. So I want to say thank you very much for watching. We'll see you for the next episode.